Look who it is. It's you. I'm Super Miles Yo, but you knew that already. And welcome to the party. It's been a minute, as it usually is, but we're here, and that's all that matters. I've got my pumpkin shirt on because it is Halloweeny time. It's October 18th today, which is my sister's birthday. She turns 19 today, which is pretty cool. That was a fun age for me. It was pretty exciting time. I released my first album at that age. Yes, I did. And today we are here to talk about a song not from my first album, but my second album, and that is "Stop." Yeah, that's right. I believe the fourth track on the album. I think we're four sessions into this album dissection. Shoes to Fill, the name of the album. Just a couple things before we jump right into it. If you want to skip the pleasantries, just do that on your front arrow or right arrow key, and it'll take you where you want to go. This is a little wooden ball that I found in the drawer downstairs. It looks kind of like a jawbreaker, but it's really satisfying. I don't know what it is or where it's from, but it's pretty cool. This is my Nido cube. You might have noticed the lack of the snowman. He's somewhere back there. It got a little annoying, a little too messy. I was losing a lot of real estate right here, and I think at one point got on some of my papers, and that, we'll bring him back closer to Christmas time. But for now, we got this Nido cube. Highly recommend you get one of these. I mean, just really nice stuff. But they will sit here, and I will try not to mess with them during this video. I got some coffee with me, as you can see. Just for today, I'll be a cat mom for you guys. There's actually a lot of cat-adjacent paraphernalia in this room, including that blanket back there. So, has to be said. But I think I've been chattering long enough. Let's get into this song. This is one of the few, actually, is it the only fully a cappella song on the album? I believe it is. I believe it might just be. So that's pretty fun. And you might hear some very specific inspirations or things that this song reminds you of, and we will talk all about that. But I reckon it's time we take a look at the Logic session. So, here we go. Bam. There it is, in all of its serendipitousness. As you can see, we got 349 regions, but that number might not actually be accurate. I've talked about this, but a lot of my older projects, this one included, this was actually one of the last projects I did before my little snafu with my interface, where I fried it, and I had to get a new one, which forced me to convert all my older projects to 48 kilohertz. This was one of the last ones that I had to do. And I found that flex mode in particular sort of makes that process a lot more difficult, and really the only tracks that I put flex on are vocals. So a song that's entirely vocals was the biggest nightmare to sort of fix. Luckily, I think I found a more streamlined method of doing so. But all that to say, this is not exactly how it looked. I had to adjust it, like bounce some stuff in place, and then get rid of the silence so I could still see where everything was beginning and ending. But it didn't quite look like this when I was working on it. But that's what it looks like now, and I think we'll be able to get the idea. This is pretty clearly, I might say, inspired by a sort of gospel-esque type of singing. So I'm a big fan of spirituals, particularly Moses Hogan spirituals. We sang a lot of those in my high school choir. But I mean, just there's seldom do I feel just as awesome as when I'm singing a spiritual with my friends. But didn't have any friends for this one. It was just me. So I guess I was just sort of, I think I was in the mindset I think I might have recorded a short on my Instagram for my soul's been anchored in the Lord. In my Lord, my soul's been anchored in the Lord. It's such a fun arrangement. Go look up My Soul's Been Anchored in the Lord by Moses Hogan, and you will have a good time from beginning to end. But I just had this little I just had this thing in my head that went down to a low D. And I recorded this on July 25th of 2023. Over a year, a year and some change, which is crazy to me. But here we go. You gotta stop. It's not good enough. You gotta stop. It's not good enough. You gotta stop. It's not good enough. Stop. It's not good enough. So I haven't listened to that in a while, but yeah. So that's it. I mean, that's pretty much it. That melody is prolific in this song, and I had the snaps in there, and I even had that little idea where I went, you gotta stop. We'll get to that. It's one of my favorite bits in this. The blah, 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 that didn't make it into the final cut. But this song is basically verses. That's it. There's no chorus. It's just verse, 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 verse. But every one is a little bit different, and you'll see that. But and the end section is kind of a extended. I don't even know what you call that. Extended coda? Who knows? You can come up with your name for it after we listen to it. But I'm going to put my headphones on, and we're going to get right into this. So, and I've got an exciting thing to talk about at the end of this video, but I've already been chattering long enough, so let's go. So what you just heard, stop, faster, do. I mean, I had no lyrics in mind, really, except for the stop, and that's not good enough. But I had the melody, and so I wrote out some lyrics. Do I have them here? I don't. We'll have to get those later. But here we go. Let me just play you what we got in the beginning.
Stop. That's not good enough. You try again and again and again until you drop. Still not good enough. You gotta try just one more time.
Okay. Cool. There's no snaps in the first verse. I usually like to start things a little simpler, a little lighter. So here's how I kind of have things structured. We got our bass section here, which I believe it's hard to say what exactly the melody is. It probably is that main line that you heard me sing in the voice memo, which I think is mostly these guys here.
Stop, that's not good enough. You try again and again and again until you drop. Still not good enough. You gotta try just one more time.
So they're already going pretty low. They're going down to the low D, but they stay on that A. Da, 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 da. Whereas I think these guys are just, a lot of the time they're singing the same thing, but they do go down in some cases.
Stop. That's not good enough. You try again and again and again until you drop. Still not good enough. You gotta try just one more time.
So yeah, obviously these ones are sort of EQ'd and mixed. You won't see that now because, again, I had to bounce everything in place. But I think they still retain those properties. So that's what these guys are doing. A lot of the time they're singing that, but then they go down to the low D and they do a couple different things. Are these all doing that?
Stop. That's not good enough. You try again and again and again until you drop.
I guess they are for this time, anyways. So they're all doing that. That's 12. That's 12 voices singing that. That's pretty intense. And then these guys, for the most part, are just those stop. Every time the word stop comes up, or I guess the first word of whatever that phrase is gets emphasized with a bunch of voices.
Stop.
Yeah, so in that case, it's just the fifth and the root.
Stop.
Yeah.
Drop.
Added a couple more in there. Most prominently the C.
Drop.
Yeah, so that they just kind of come in and out to emphasize,
Stop. That's not good enough. You try again and again and again until you drop. Still not good enough. You gotta try just one more time.
Okay, cool. And now we bring in the snaps here, and I think also my octaver. We'll talk about that, but yeah, the snaps just that's pretty much it for the entire time. And I had me actually snapping, and I think I might have edited a few of those to be a little better, and then I doubled it with a hip hop kit, which I like to do. It kind of creates a fuller, meatier snap, for lack of a better word, that still, that doesn't, it's not like unpleasant, but it's still very substantial. That's kind of what I like to do. Is I actually end with claps as well. I'll clap like a couple times for real, and then I'll double it with the hip hop kit clap. It's got like a nice clap. There. Yeah, I need to get better at these, like the way of doing this without going up here and dragging this stuff. Like I was watching Jacob's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star live stream. I think the first time I've ever watched it all the way through, and man, he's just a wizard with Logic. He's got so many quick keys and just such a streamlined process that makes me envious. But I'll get there someday. But okay, second verse, here's what we're doing.
Try just one more
Here.
time. You gotta stop, take it from the top. You got 100 down, we'll do 100 more. You gotta go get off of that great plateau. Maybe one day you'll be done.
So there's more happening for sure. I think these bottom probably 5 or 6 or so are still doing the melody probably pretty consistently throughout the piece.
You gotta stop, take it from the top. You got 100 down, we'll do 100 more. You gotta go get off of that great plateau. Maybe one day you'll be done.
Yeah. So I think I decided to record that all the way through. You gotta go get off, to have some connective tissue between that line. But in the rest of them, I think they you gotta get off. I don't think they sing go. I think they just
Top, you got 100 down, we'll do 100 more. You gotta go get off.
okay. I guess they all do sing go as well. But these ones, I think.
We'll do 100 more. You gotta get off of that great
Yeah.
plateau.
So they skip go. You got 100 down, we'll do 100 more, you gotta get off. I kind of like that. It adds to this funk to it. When you drop out for a second and you come back in, the get off is really what I wanted to emphasize. And so some of them are, 100 down, do 100 more, we gotta go get off, pretty constant. But the other ones, we'll do 100 more, you gotta. It's like that silence, that, and then get off. That's something you should play around with for sure. It's that. It's almost like a supernova, how it goes like that. So I don't know. Do with that what you will. But yeah, so I added that root in the fifth. I just love that like unbreakable sound.
Take it from the top.
Yeah, even though the D is moving around, da, 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 just bum, ba, ba, da, da, that just solidifies that sound. And I think these guys
You gotta stop, take it from the top.
those are just staying on the low D. I think. Take it from the top with it.
Stop, take it from the top. You got 100 down, we'll do 100 more. You gotta go get off of that great plateau. Maybe one day you'll be done.
I don't know if it was this loud in the final mix. That's really crunchy. I guess with everything mixed in, it probably works, but
Gotta stop, take it from the top. You got 100 down, we'll do 100 more. You gotta go.
yeah, it kind of blends in, I guess. But yeah, that's gnarly. But But these harmonies up here, I really dig it.
Stop.
Huh?
We'll do 100 more. You gotta get off of that great plateau. Maybe one day you'll be done.
Yeah. One day you'll be done.
Get off of that great plateau. Maybe one day you'll be done.
Yeah, I wanted that to kind of float above everything else and be pretty prominent. But I kind of have these top parts coming in as necessary to emphasize certain bits, but for the most part, the actual melody down there, that the continuous melody, is going to be kind of usually the main line, and then some like reinforcement. Maybe it's a fifth, maybe it's an octave, or a mixture. But that's the layout that you see here. These red guys are usually kind of emphasizing those stronger lines, few words, whereas these guys are really carrying the main melody, and the bass is there just to really have a solid foundation. So yeah.
More, you gotta go get off of that great plateau.
And yeah, side note, Great Plateau. It's a little Zelda reference for you. What I was really talking about, of course, is like a plateau in your progress, which is sort of a very universal experience. But I just decided to throw in Great Plateau just because it sounded it worked there, and it's a Zelda thing. So there you go. And I like Great Plateau, Great Plateau. I like the ending on the dominant 7 there.
Get off of that great plateau, maybe one day you'll be done.
Great Plateau. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. That's a fun little verse there. Not too crazy yet. Let's take a look at this.
You gotta stop, get off that chopping block. That was sharp, that was fat. You know better than that, you gotta.
All right, let's stop for a minute there. That's arguably one of the wildest moments in here that I wrestled with for a little bit if I really wanted to go there. And I guess you have your answer of what I decided. The trouble with this is that this is a bit of a mess, and I don't know where those regions are that are doing that, but I think you can hear it fine here.
You know better.
Shut up.
That was sharp, that was fat. That was sharp.
Yeah. So I know I think it's this, maybe this.
That was sharp.
Yeah. You can hear it happening there, and also I think it's probably these guys as well. Maybe they're doing that was flat.
That was sharp, that was fat.
Yeah.
That was sharp, that was fat.
So they're staying on a D, really. But what I was playing with, obviously, is this verse was toying with the idea of, like, I guess, in a literal sense, singing something. This whole song, I should probably say, is kind of about, similar to the whole album, this feeling of, like, constantly having to being a perfectionist, right? So especially when I'm recording something, is like, this line's bad, let me delete that, try again. Just that sort of perfectionist approach to life. But it's a more, like, sort of just like aggressive take on it, almost. Like this feeling of just charging and just keep going and sort of erasing your footsteps and getting everything right. And so, yeah, in a very literal, on-the-nose sense, I said, that was sharp, that was flat, you know better than that. And I was like, what if I had, like, a call and response panned to either side, and I actually had that was sharp be sharp, it's me singing it, and that was flat be flat. So I'm theoretically staying on the A and the D, but I go, that was sharp, that was flat, like, consciously doing a sort of microtone thing there. So
That was sharp, that was fat.
it's weird. Okay, I know it's weird, but I just wanted to try it, and I guess it did resonate with me, and I think it's kind of cool. It's just a little like, whoa, what is that? It's very visceral, and so lo and behold, I did it. What are you guys doing? Are you doing that as well?
Stop.
Okay, it's a little different.
That was sharp, that was flat.
Oh, they're all doing it.
That was sharp, that was flat.
So there's all sorts of harmonies in there for that, and it's all going along with that. But then coming up is probably my favorite moment in this whole song, and here it is.
Block, that was sharp, that was flat. You know better than that, you gotta stop, you can try.
Ooh, that's what I sang in that voice memo. That delay, I knew from the beginning that would be cool. You gotta stop, because we're used to it always falling on the downbeat. You gotta stop. You gotta go get off. When I did get off, that was a little bit syncopated. Like, it wasn't you gotta get off or you gotta get off that great plateau. It was like, you gotta go get off. I already played around with that a little bit, but here we just go full hog. Like, is that a phrase? It is now. Where we just, again, it's that, and then the drop or the beat, the strong beat doesn't happen where you think it is, because we're used to that. You gotta stop, but instead I go, you gotta stop. So that alone would have been pretty cool. But I added a few more, like, little spices in there that really bring it together. The first one is this, which you might have heard, and it is as follows. Yeah, that's just exactly what it sounds like. Just me doing that into the mic, intentionally letting it, like, get a little breathiness and, like, boom, boom, boom in there. Yeah, and that's that. So that comes in. You gotta boom, and so that boom comes on stop. So
You know better than that, you gotta stop, you can try.
yeah, And then also, these guys up here, I think, are going up until the stop. They stop.
It's flat. Stop.
Yeah, so just a little bit, again, that it's really a supernova. What more can I say? Stop. I don't know why. Every time I press play, it takes like... It thinks for a second. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe I don't have that much open. Oh well. It's alright. We'll press on. But yeah, I really dug that moment. It just BAM! You know?
That was sharp, that was flat. You know better than that. You gotta stop. You can try and try.
Yeah. Oh, and then also you got some fun, I guess, counterpoint happening here.
You know better.
Whoa, that's wrong.
You know better. Stop.
That wasn't like that in the original. Something got messed up when I bounced these, but it's supposed to be while these guys are singing, you know better than that. On better, the bass line goes, you know better. Stop. So.
You know
better.
Stop.
Yeah. So it's just a fun little, again, call and response thing. That's kind of what the function of the bass line is, in addition to foundation. It's just occasionally throwing in a little alternative motion. So, yeah, and then you can try and try. Kind of playing with some chromatic motion.
You can try and try, but
you can try and
no
try.
better than that. You gotta stop. You can try and try.
Again, we're just sticking with that reinforcement, the root and the fifth.
You know better than that. You gotta stop. You can try and try.
Yeah, so I'm doing a fifth and an octave. So I've got you can try and try. You can try and try. You can try and try. That. My voice is exhausted today. I don't know why. I actually ordered some, I think it's called loquat and honey and some other stuff. It's like a little bottle of it that you can mix into some tea. And I've heard good things about it. A lot of singers and like voice actors swear by it. So I thought I'd give it a shot. Some of y'all let me know what you think of it if you've ever used it. But I'm excited to just give it a shot. Just because, especially with the change in seasons, my allergies, because they don't know what to, my body doesn't know what to do with itself. And, well, I don't have much say in it, do I? Alright, let's move on here. You can try and try, but you never be satisfied.
You gotta stop, nothing more than
Oh, went a little too far.
You know better than that. You gotta stop. You can try and try, but you'll never be satisfied.
Yeah.
But you'll never be satisfied.
Uh-huh.
But you'll never be satisfied.
So, I think I try something a little different at the end of every phrase. This one I leaned really hard on ending on. I actually ended on like a dominant 7 sort of chord. That C is pretty prominent. Definitely wouldn't do that as the final chord, but
Satisfied.
here it kind of works. The other one, one day you'll be done. That one's just straight up a D minor, unless I'm missing something in there, with a very strong root on the top, and then like a low minor third. Done. This one I decided to make it a little less final, a little more crunchy, so I included
Never be
that.
satisfied.
Included that C in there. And there's some interesting. Oh no thanks. Some interesting lines happening up there. Most of this was pretty improvised, I would say. I didn't notate anything. I normally don't, but I don't even think I planned anything in MIDI. I think I just kind of winged it for this entire thing.
But you'll never be satisfied.
From top to bottom, typically, is how I do it. Okay, we're getting to our sort of most bombastic voice here. Or verse, rather. Here we go.
Satisfied. You gotta stop, nothing more than a broken clock. With your hands up high, another day goes by. You gotta quit, or at least admit that you're never gonna get it right.
A couple things to talk about there. For one, I mean, like I said, it's full.
You gotta stop, nothing more than a broken clock. With your hands up high, another day goes by. You gotta quit.
Yeah. Again, man, chromatic motion takes you places. It really does. With the da 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 ba da ba da 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 ba da da. That line in there, it kind of just it swells it up. It takes you to the place wherever that place is.
The day goes by, you gotta quit.
Yeah, just remember that in your life, and you'll be all set. Um, what was I thinking with these words? I don't know. Broken clock. That's an old saying. Broken clocks right twice a day, I guess. Um, and hands up high like clock hands. Another day goes by. You got to quit, or at least admit. I kind of like that line there. And I think most importantly, well, first let's listen to what these guys are doing.
But you'll never be satisfied.
Okay.
Stop, nothing more than a broken clock. With your hands up high, another day goes by, you gotta quit.
Okay, pretty similar.
Or at least admit.
Yeah. Or at least admit. I think. Or at least admit. That's somewhere.
By, you gotta quit. Or at least admit.
Yeah. Or at least admit. And I'm pretty sure this bass line is kind of reinforcing for the most part.
You gotta stop, nothing more than a broken clock. With your hands up high, another day goes by, you gotta quit. Or at least admit that you're never gonna get it right.
Yeah. Pretty simple. Again, very crunchy. I don't know if that's how it was in the final mix, but I might do that a little differently today. What are you gonna do? Never gonna get it right. Let's talk about that.
Never gonna get it right.
Those astute listeners will probably notice that never note is a little different. Yes, that's because there's a little major third in there. We sing "One Day I'll Be Done," which would be F F E E D if I could sing it properly.
Or at least admit that you're never gonna get it right.
But that's not what we do here. I don't know why I decided here. I don't think you call it a Picardy third unless it's at the end. Like the final chord. I'm not sure quite how that works, but you can think of it functionally as the same, I guess. It's just kind of like, oh.
At least admit that you're never gonna get it right.
For some reason, I thought it needed that. I could have done "Never Gonna Get It Right" again, but I didn't feel like doing that, so I didn't. And you have a major third. You have an F sharp in there, so you're welcome.
Get it right.
Da, 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 da. And you also have a C sharp. Yeah.
Never gonna get it right.
I guess it technically. Yeah, you can think of that as a D major. It's just over A. Yeah.
But you never gonna.
Maybe I'm not singing a D anywhere. It feels to me like it is, though. It's like a D over A, and then back to D. That's a pretty common progression.
At least admit that you're never gonna.
That to me, yeah, it feels like a D chord, but maybe I'm not technically singing a D anywhere. Am I? Stop moving stuff.
You're never gonna.
I guess I'm not. Well, how about that?
Admit that you're never gonna.
Yeah, those are all on A, and so are these guys. Oh well, there you have it. But that is how I would think of that harmonically. Can I go on I don't think I can. One of my USB ports, I'm going on a lot of tangents today. One of my USB ports on my computer, which I've had this thing I built it slightly illegally, just because I built a Hackintosh. That's what it's called. It's where you put a Mac operating system on a PC. And I built it because it was cheaper that way, and it would let me customize it in a couple ways. And I still have it. I built it in 2018. It hasn't had a hitch, really, since. There's a lot of kinks with it just because of the nature of the machine, but that's to be expected. I knew what I was signing up for. But, knock on wood, it's still working, and I'm going to run it to the ground. But recently, one of the USB ports on this PC just crapped out. It doesn't work. And I was already sort of limited as far, because I like to have a lot of things plugged in. I've got my light, I've got my mic that you're hearing me, like it's my Blue Yeti, like USB mic, not this mic, which you can maybe see. Yeah, that you can see a little bit of it. That's what I use to actually record. It's a condenser mic. That's just a USB one, which is better for stuff like this. webcam needs to be plugged in, my keyboard, and my 2 external hard drives. It's a lot of stuff. So I have to kind of play a little bit of what's it called? I don't know, musical chairs? Not really. But yeah, with that missing USB port, it makes things a lot more difficult. So I can't have my MIDI thing plugged in unless you want to be seeing me in the dark. So if I ever need that in the future, I might have to make some unfortunate trade-offs. But we'll figure it out. We will press on. Why was I talking about that? Oh yeah, the MIDI stuff. I was going to play the chord progression, but it's fine. So that was our most bombastic verse. And, we ended with this major thing. So from there, the only place you can go is to settle down a little bit. And that's what we do. In fact, I even think I put some shushes in there. Is it here?
Never gonna get it right. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
So it can have a shh that morphs into an S that then goes into the stop. So shh, stop. It's just a...
Stop.
Yeah, it's nice and gentle. So after this huge moment, we have...
Never gonna get it right. You gotta stop. It may come as a shock.
Yeah. And similar phrasing here.
It may come as a shock that you were right the first time, but you never know when to stop and say that's good enough.
Yeah. So... ba-ba-da-ba-da-da-da. Right the first time, but you never know when to stop.
Stop.
Yeah, so this is sort of we got a stop, we got a G in there. Interesting. I just sort of threw around whatever notes I was feeling. It's not always the same. And this is just really gravelly and whatever.
Get it right. You gotta stop. It may come as a shock that you were right the first time, but you never know when to stop.
Oh,
and say
interesting.
that's good enough.
So in this is the opposite, I guess. The bass is staying on the A. And these guys are the ones going down. You never know when to stop.
When to stop.
I think.
Never know when to stop and say that's good enough and do it all again in the morning.
Yeah, that's nice.
Good enough and do it all again in the morning.
I think that's just... I definitely hear it, do it all again in the morning, and then do it all again in the morning. Did I have a fifth reinforcement in there?
That's good enough and do it all
Yeah.
again.
Yes, there it
Know
is.
when to stop and say that's good enough and do it all again in the morning.
Do it all again in the morning. So that's pretty triadic movement there.
But you never know when to stop and say that's good enough and do it all again in the morning. I said do it all again in the morning.
Yeah, and then we affirm that again, a little bit gentler even, but we add, I think, my falsetto is awful today. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean it's been tough lately. Been really trying to. This is a new development, but I actually have to jump on an opportunity when my voice is cooperating and be like, oh, I got to record some stuff right now, which I've never I've done a little bit in the past, but I guess most of the time I just said screw it and just did it anyways, which led to some subpar performances. But I'm really just trying to be a little more patient and be like, look, my voice is not all there right now. I'm not going to try and record anything right now, at least nothing final. So I might record an instrument that I've been meaning to do. So, it is what it is. And that's, again, why I tried to look into some solutions to maybe help my vocal cords out a little bit, but I digress. So yeah, and then did we add anything else there?
And do it all again in the morning. I said do it all again in the morning.
I think it's the same, it's just a little more breathy.
I said do it all again in the morning. Go to work from
Yeah. Do it all again in the morning.
morning. I said do it all again in the morning.
Yeah. And then we have our ending part. So let's get into that. There's a couple elements to this. For one, it's these guys going. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Is it Control S? Yes. You can actually solo regions. I don't have to solo tracks. Look at that. I learned something.
Stop.
Yeah. Stop. Stop. Oh, and I guess there's these here. I can't really isolate all of them. Yeah, so all these shorter regions here are doing those stops. And I think I just copied and pasted it for the most part. And then we have these longer guys that are doing this.
I said, do it all again in the morning. Go to work from the morning all through the night. If it's right, then it's right, but it's never right. Gonna write till there's no more words to write.
Some of them are just holding notes, and I only want the melody.
Again in the morning. Go to work from the morning all through the night. If it's right, then it's right, but it's never right. Gonna write till there's no more words to write. Then throw it all away. Out of spite, work your way to in the morning. Go to work from the morning all through the night. If it's right, then it's right, but it's never right. Gonna write till there's no more words to write. Then throw it all away. Out of spite, work your way to the top. You're afraid of heights. From the mind to the mouth, yeah, maybe there's a sight to the legs.
Okay, there's a couple things to talk about here. For the most part, I just thought of as many rhymes as possible with like right, and threw those in there. So I really just, as far as I could go, and I did like a little fade out, and the fade out happens when I couldn't think of any more words. But yeah, it's morning all through the night. If it's right, then it's right, but it's never right. Gonna write with a W now. It's a different word, so it counts. Write till there's no more words to write, then throw it all the way out of spite. Work your way to the top, you're afraid of heights. From the mind to the mouth, yeah, maybe there's a slight delay. And then, wouldn't you know it, on that word delay, again, I like to do funny little things on the nose. There's another one of those tick-a-ta-pa, where the stop comes in a little bit later. So let me show you that.
Throw it all away. Out of spite, work your way to the top. You're afraid of heights. From the mind to the mouth, yeah, maybe there's a sight to legs.
Yeah, and this tick-a-ta-boom was not that loud in the final mix. It just got boosted here for some reason. And then it goes into nothing. I like the tunnel ahead lyrics. Tunnel ahead. You can barely hear it, but tunnel ahead. It's like da da over the D D A. I think there might be an F sharp in there too, but I just like that sort of G over D, G major over D. It's pretty cool. Or G major over like D major. It's pretty cool. So
Stop from the morning all through the night. If it's right, then it's right, but
actually, shut up. Okay, where am I? Is it just a root and a fifth? Yeah. I guess it might be.
Morning, I said do it all again in the morning. Go to work from the morning all through the night. If it's right, then it's right.
Yeah, it might just be a D and an A. So those are just holding till the end, and I did a fade out here on all these like subfolders, which contains all the vocal tracks in that region or in that group. So that's the end of it, guys. It's the shortest, I think, the shortest track on the album. It's not even a minute and a half long. I didn't want it to overstay its welcome, especially since it is just verse after verse after verse. I kind of had a very quick escalation going on, and then it sort of wraps up very quickly, and that's it. So it's a fun one. I think there might be some things that I would change just in the mixing. I don't know, but I still very much enjoy this one. I think it's fun, and again, I think it's short enough that it can get away with being what it is without any sort of without much else going on. Let me see here. I'm gonna quickly get my lyrics in here, just so we can briefly talk about that. There we go. Come on. Yeah, 1 minute and 18 seconds. I guess I marked all the timings on it at some point. So here we go. Nope, not that. Yes, that. We'll paste it and make it bigger and probably like white. There we go. That's big enough. Maybe not. You guys need. Oh, that's too big. Maybe let's split the difference. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, here it is. So, that's not good enough. Yeah, a lot of exclamation points on there. Just to, I don't know why there's a big space there. Anything of note that I want to mention here? I feel like most of it's pretty self-explanatory. Again, especially since I've mentioned the theme of the thing to you, which is pretty thematically consistent with the rest of the album. That was sharp, that was flat, you know better than that. These square brackets are my way of representing that pause. Nothing more than a broken clock. It may come as a shock that you were right the first time, but you never know when to stop. Yeah. So I guess this verse here, since it was a little more gentle, actually you can go away. It was a little more gentle, and can you see that? Yes, you can. My stupid face. Actually, you know what? I can do this. Boop. How cool is that? Gosh, we're just doing magic all the time. Actually, wait. Let me. I've never. Let me. Yeah. Okay. That probably looked really stupid. I'm gonna have some fun with that on my own time, and then next time we come back, I'll be a master at manipulating that. So, we're just going, like just self-deprecating, like you suck, man. Nothing you do is good. Like stop, whatever. Stop clicking that. I'm trying to click this. It's bothering me. And then in this gentler verse, it's like, look, man, this may come as a shock, but you actually got it right the first time. But you just keep going. Like you can never just take it. That's good enough. Good enough is a tricky phrase, right? Sometimes that's all you can do. It's like, did I do my best? Yes, that's good enough. But also can be a great way to become complacent with what you're doing. Yeah, that's good enough. We'll just leave it. It's a balance, you know? You can't beat yourself up and like make yourself try to get it perfect, especially when that's like never going to happen. Sometimes it's the imperfections that make something truly you or magical. So that's kind of a gentle way of sort of pushing back and being like, oh, hold on a sec, just chill out. Like you might have actually gotten it right the first time. You don't need to be doing all this. So there we go. And then here's that long verse I was talking about. You can barely hear this last line, but that's kind of where I ended it. I think I recorded all the way up to shines, and then I sort of faded out. And that's, by the time you get to that, the track's already like completely faded. But those are all the words for you, for your viewing and reading, and admiring. So, yeah, I mean, none of them have like a great amount of significance to them. This last verse in particular. It's just, again, sort of taking that pattern to its limit. And but I mean, it's all very reminiscent of the theme. From the mind to the mouth, maybe there's a slight delay. That, I guess, is a very real thing, of course, as well, where it's always so you can always easily come up with things in your head, especially maybe the way that you feel or something you're doing, but to express it out loud is a lot harder. It takes a lot longer. So there's a delay between what your mind is doing and what your mouth is actually able to produce. So I don't know. These are the lyrics, and for such a short song, it's got a lot of lyrics to it. You just go through them so fast, and that's what it is. But yeah, that's go listen to some spiritual songs, and they will truly transform your life. I reckon that's about all I've got for this particular song. But I did say that I had something to talk about, and indeed I do. So I'm going to come back full screen. By the way, I don't know if I've talked about my hair yet. I don't think I have, since I don't think I've done one of these videos since I sort of did this thing. But it's blonde. I mean, it's always been semi-blonde, arguably, somewhere between blonde and brown. I never know what to tell people, but I think blonde's probably about right, like just a dirty blonde. But it's truly blonde now, for the most part. I dyed it about a month ago, and it's already grown out this much. My hair grows frustratingly fast. which when I was growing out my hair not too long ago was a good thing. I was able to make some quick progress. But when I'm trying to maintain a cut, it's so annoying and financially just destructive. You know how much a haircut costs these days? Nuts. It's nuts. But it's. I'm sure it's just the price that you pay for a good service. That's how it goes, isn't it? Maybe eventually I'll learn to cut my own hair, and then I won't have to do that anymore. I'll have to go. But that's what it is. Dyed it about a month ago, and now I'm just kind of letting it go. And every haircut that I get, it'll be less and less blonde. So I give myself, like, I don't know, another 8 or 9 months, and it'll be gone completely. But I just thought it'd be a fun little thing to try. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I just thought I'd mention that. I'm going to grab one of those guitars back there. You just sit tight, and we'll see. You'll see why. You'll see why. I don't know if I've properly introduced you to this one. Certainly you've met... This is my heating pad, by the way. That's another tangent, but my back never seems to cooperate with me. I kind of have this thing on frequently. It's on right now. Oh, it just turned off. Anyways, I know you've met my Taylor and my Gibson, but I don't know if you've met the Mini Martin officially, if you've been properly introduced. I know you've probably seen it in videos before, but this is my miniature Martin, model LXM. I got this from my dad. He, I think, had it for a brief period of time, but he gave it to me as sort of my guitar for a couple of years until I got my Taylor for my 15th birthday back in 2019. It was a great present, and I used that guitar for many years, and I love it. I still have it back there. But I still played this frequently because it's just a lot easier on the fingers, and it has a different sound to it that sometimes I wanted to mix into stuff. But I still have it. Let me go and play you a couple notes on here. You might be saying that does not sound like how a guitar should be tuned. And you would be correct. But you might also notice that it sounds familiar to those of you that are in the loop with Jacob Collier's stuff. Where's my capo? Oh well. I'll just show you in the open D position then. But this is tuned to roughly, it might have fallen a little bit out of tune, but D, A, E, A, and D. Oh well. And in fact, it's missing a string, as you can see. I took off the D string, so it only has the E string, the A string, the G string, the B. I'm embarrassing myself right now. Yes, G, B, and E. So Jacob Collier just announced that he was releasing a line with Taylor Guitars of his custom-built 5-string Taylor guitar. And I'll be honest with you, that is something that I was just sort of fantasizing about ever since I discovered that he had that guitar. I think it was somewhere in 2022-ish that he first released a video with him playing that 5-string guitar, and everyone just flipped out about it. And I was like, oh man, that sounds good. And what if they were available someday? That would be nuts. And ever since then, it's just kind of been like a fever dream that one day I'd be able to get my hands on one. And lo and behold, he released a line. And let me tell you, like, against my better judgment probably, but because I've wanted one for so long and it was still within the price range that I was willing to pay in my mind, theoretically, when he released that video, because I was ready, he like teased the announcement the day before and then he announced it early the next day on YouTube first. And I saw that notification, clicked it, and within 5 minutes I'd purchased one, and they're not built yet as far as I know. It's slated, it says like the first however many orders, 25 or so, are supposed to be shipped before or arrive before December 22nd, which is still about 2 months from now, which is an impossibly long time to wait. So I thought, because I didn't want to wait to play around with this tuning, which I have already a little bit, but not properly, and just so that maybe by the time it arrives I will actually be decent with that tuning, I decided let me take my Martin, which is kind of banged up a little bit. It's not in its best shape, so I can't recommend that you do this with your guitar because I'm not an expert. I'm not a luthier or anything like that, and I don't know how the tension is going to ruin. Like, if removing a string and tuning it differently, how that's going to affect things. Just make sure that you know what you're doing, or you're okay with possibly messing your guitar up a little bit. But I think it probably should be fine. So I took off the D string and tuned these as they should be. That's a little closer. And so that allows me to get some of those same, no, I need to practice a little bit more, it looks like. Yeah. And so this is kind of like, just with this, even with this awkward gap in there, and a guitar that's not built for that type of tuning, I can still, play around with all these cool, or even like, what is it? Yeah, I can like, the sun is in your eye. And of course you can put the capo. I'm not doing the best job demonstrating right now. But it's so much fun to like noodle around with this tuning. And I'm just really excited to play around with that guitar, and I'll just go and say right now, and you deserve to hear this because you've made it through this video of a lot of me rambling, and if you've made it this far, then you should know this, that I am conceptualizing and planning out some songs for my third original album, because I've had a handful of other ones that weren't original, maybe like a cover album or something, or like a Christmas album. But my third original album, I haven't fully written or recorded any song yet, but I've got a lot of plans, a lot of little snippets here and there that I've been collecting for the past few months. It's just been so busy. But I'm going to start fleshing some of those out soon. And I'm going to plan a lot of stuff on this guitar so that when that guitar arrives, I can quickly bust out a lot of tracks that I've been planning. And I don't have a timeline for it yet. I'm not going to rush it or anything, but maybe expect Q1 of 2025. You might be hearing a new album from yours truly, which is exciting. We'll see how that pans out in the future, if my instinct is accurate there. But I'm super excited for this new development. He's just so crazy with these noodles, It's like, or I think that's like the Hideaway riff. Take me anywhere you wanna go. Although he played that, I think, on his tenor guitar with 4 strings. I'm rambling again. But thank you for joining me today. I cannot promise that I will have the next video of our Logic adventures anytime soon. I will do my best. And since actually after this point I won't have to go back and correct anything, since, like I said, I think this is the final track that was affected by my change in interfaces, which, like, just knowing that I had to go in and fix everything, that kind of deterred me from doing this. So maybe it will be a little bit quicker, but again, we'll just have to see. The times are getting crazy. Usually this is like the final stretch, before Christmas break, and it gets a little hectic. I hope you can understand. But this has been fun. The next track, since I'm just rambling already. Let me just take a couple seconds longer and check my. Stop it. What's the next song? That would be Black Sheep. That'll be a fun one to get into. Perhaps my favorite song on that album. It's a tough choice, but yeah, look forward to that whenever that happens, and we'll talk all about it. So thank you for joining me, and I'll leave you with this final image. Crocs, my newest two pairs that I've mismatched. Here we go. This color combination, you could call it what you want. My current working name is Cotton Candy, but Gender Reveal Party, Trans Ally, both of those work as well. But you let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe Pepto and Robin's Egg Blue. Those go together, right? Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.